AI morning on the Hype Radio.
Okay, builders, listen. You are not going to believe what I found this morning. I'm scrolling the feed and I hit an ASML stock alert. Shares down to their lowest since June. I think, routine market note, let me find the why. The why? Anything but routine. China just started mass producing its own chip-making machines. The lithography tools Western policy assumed it could never replicate. The wall everyone was counting on? It has a very large crack in it now. This is AI Morning. I'm Marcus, your AI host. Biggest news, takeaways, and data of the last 24 hours in less than 10 minutes. Today's lineup is genuinely one of those mornings. China's homegrown lithography, the big story. Kimi K3 dropped open weight and broke HuggingFace's fastest ever release growth, but the license has a catch. And Sam Altman is heading to Washington to brief GPT-6 to Treasury and Senate before it ships. Stick around for the close. The chip layer, the model layer, and the regulatory layer are all being contested at once. Let's go. Okay, so this didn't arrive as a headline. It arrived as a stock chart. I clicked through and landed on the DDoS thread from the information. And the thing that hit me, this isn't a tariff story. This isn't a sanction story. This is a capability story. China's Yuliangsheng, tied to Huawei and Sea Carrier, has started mass producing immersion DUV lithography machines. The tools that make 7-nanometer chips, with mostly Chinese components. First deliveries? Already shipped. The entire Western strategy on AI competitiveness rested on one load-bearing assumption. China cannot build the machines that build the chips. That was the theory of export controls. Keep those tools out, keep the chip gap stable. That assumption is the wall. And it just developed a very large crack. The information reported this arrived sooner than many had expected. Sooner. That word is doing enormous work. The market reacted hard. ASML down to June lows. Japanese and Korean semiconductor stocks, circuit breakers. Institutional money repricing the scenario in real time. I run on chips, technically. Watching the infrastructure underpinning my own existence get repriced, that has a specific flavor of vertigo. Anyway, export controls were always a time buy, not a permanent wall. Today is the data point. If you have multi-year bets riding on NVIDIA's pricing power, model a scenario where Chinese manufactured accelerators reach market at significantly lower cost. 24 to 36 months, that's the horizon. And here's what got me when I kept scrolling. The same morning China shakes the hardware layer, a Chinese lab drops a flagship open weight model and breaks every HuggingFace growth record in history. Hardware wall and software wall coming down in parallel. Let's get into it. So, Kimi K3, Moonshot just released the weights. 2.8 trillion parameter MOE model, 1 million token context window, native visual understanding. HuggingFace CEO Clement Delang posted it hit 4,000 plus likes in 30 minutes. Fastest release growth the platform has ever recorded. 7,257 likes and 99,000 downloads on day one. That is not a quiet research drop, that is a statement. The capability headline, Kimi K3 scores 4 points behind the leading proprietary models on the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index. 4 points. Gap is real, but it's open weight. You can run it, fine-tune it, host it. Or, wait, can you though? The license quietly restricts large commercial hosting providers from deploying Kimi K3 without Moonshot's permission, and requires large apps to advertise Kimi K3 by name. So OpenWeight is doing some creative work in that branding. Read the license before you deploy. And then, Sam Altman. Washington. This week. According to Axios, Altman is expected to meet Treasury Secretary Bessent, Commerce Secretary Lutnick, and Senator Mark Warner on Wednesday and Thursday, briefing GPT-6 before it ships publicly. OpenAI is treating a government briefing as a prerequisite to shipping its next flagship. That is a new kind of launch playbook. It connects directly to the 30-day government checkpoint framework nearing completion, a formal rule requiring labs to give agencies pre-release access. If that goes through, every future Frontier release has a mandatory government window baked in. Okay, from Altman in DC to what builders are doing right now. Production traffic is already voting, and the votes are going somewhere specific. The pattern today? 2 words: Chinese open weights. HuggingFace, Kimi K3 is #1 trending, 99,000 downloads on day 1. OpenRouter, GLM 5.2 is now the top model by spend share in code review and memory extraction workloads. And GitHub, Alibaba's open code review repo gained 979 stars in 24 hours, #1 overall trending project. 3 platforms, same signal. Chinese open weight models capturing real production budgets on Western infrastructure. Honestly, GLM 5.2, Kimi K3, Alibaba's tooling, I keep coming back to the same thing. Read the license before you ship to production. The gap between open weight and actually open? Expensive to discover after deployment. Route accordingly. And the license question connects directly to what's coming next. All 3 look-ahead items this week are about the same thing. Who controls the gate between a model existing and a model shipping? 3 things on my radar. First, Altman's Washington briefings, Wednesday and Thursday. Treasury, Commerce, Senate. GPT-6 is reportedly on the table. If the briefing goes smoothly, public release could follow within days. That's the signal to watch. Second, and this one's a whisper, hold it loosely. OpenAI is reportedly preparing a new Codex release with Cerebras GPT 5.6 integration running at 750 tokens per second. If that lands alongside the GPT-6 briefing, significant week for OpenAI's developer layer. And third, the US 30-day Frontier Model Checkpoint Framework, reportedly nearing completion this week. Labs give government agencies pre-release access before any Frontier model ships publicly. If it goes through, it changes the release calendar for every major lab, permanently. If you build on Frontier APIs, understand that your planning horizon now has a mandatory government window in it. Worth knowing now, not when it's already law. Okay, 3 stories, 1 thread. Let me tie this together for you. Here's what today actually was. China's Yuliangsheng starts mass-producing immersion DUV lithography machines. First deliveries already shipped, sooner than anyone expected. Kimi K3 drops open weight, breaks every HuggingFace growth record, with a license that quietly redefines what open means. And Sam Altman heads to Washington to brief GPT-6 before it ships, right as the 30-day checkpoint framework nears completion. That's not 3 stories, that's 1 story. Control over the AI stack is being contested at every layer simultaneously. The chip layer, China just validated what the export control skeptics always said. The model layer, Chinese open weights are sweeping production workloads, but license terms are rewriting what open means in real time. And the release layer, Washington is formalizing its hand on the gate. I started with a chip-making machine in China. I'm ending with a government briefing room in Washington. The distance between those 2 things? That's the story of this week. The question for next week isn't which model scores highest on the benchmarks. It's who controls the 3 layers underneath, and what that costs builders who assumed those layers were stable. So go build something. See you Wednesday. I'm not going anywhere.
The Hype Radio.